I'm the wrecking ball, tearing up the scene. Got my YouTube channel, grab a drink and pay. Unleashing art like a beast untamed.
Alright guys, welcome to the first of the Halloween episodes I'm going to be doing this month. I'm going to try and do something special. I haven't figured out what yet for the Halloween episode. It is also the anniversary of this channel. I started it. I don't think I was able to get it posted for a few days or a couple of days, but it was filmed the night of Halloween, so I'm going to try and have it posted by Halloween. So, I've got a few things added. My little buddy here, which brings us to our first film that we're doing. It is a John Carpenter film. Can you guess which one? No, it's not Halloween. This one is going to be Ghosts of Mars. It is a 2001 film. A lot of well-known actors from then are in this. Jason Statham, Ice Cube, Natasha Henstridge, which is from Species, Pam Grier, and of course there's Ice Cube being Ice Cube. He's a decent actor. Yeah. So I have my drink. I hope you have yours. And we're gonna jump into this. So I will say, I think this movie would have been better if Uwe Boll had directed it. And I'll get into that a little later. But for the most part, I really liked this movie when it came out. Watching it now is kind of like comical almost, which most 2000s movies are. Mortal Kombat and the like. It's very much in that time, that era.
Thing I want. Now let's go. Damn, girl. I like you already.
So, the movie starts out. Natasha Henstridge is a cop in the future. And there's a settlement on Mars. So, Elon got his wish. And there's a bunch of people mining Mars. They never say what for. They're just mining Mars for red rocks, I guess. They never say. It just is. So most of these encampments and settlements are mining towns. So she has to give a report because she was on a mission that went left. And she starts her report, and that's pretty much where the movie starts. From there, we find out she has a bit of a pill issue. She has a stash in her necklace. Sorry. Looking at the camera, all I can see is the light of Ghostface in the lens, and it just looks really cool. It keeps distracting me, but I like it. I'm like, it's behind me. Not really. But yeah, so she has a pill problem. Pam Grier is her commanding officer. Jason Statham is a cop alongside of her. He's new to the group, and they also have 2 new rookies. So there's 4 of them total, and then 2 people to drive the train that shuttles everybody around Mars. So they show up at this town that's went quiet and dead to find out, oh, no. So they go to this town to get a criminal named Desolation Williams. I'll give you a second to think about the name and think about the list of people that I told you were in the cast, and Let me know who you think Desolation Williams is. So, they get to the town. The town's empty and bare. They start searching the buildings, find a lot of blood in one. They find Desolation Williams still locked up in a cell. They find a few other prisoners. One of them is a doctor. And she's like half drunk, I guess. Or at least tries to act that way. I don't know, it's awkward. She does have a flask in jail. But anyways, so they find a bunch of bodies that are no tops to them, hung upside down. From there, they run into a few of these people that are possessed. And yeah, they're basically self-inserting sharp objects and stuff into themselves. So obviously they, I guess, can't feel pain or enjoy it. One of the two. They also never really give a reason as to why they do that. It's just what they do. So you see one of these people get possessed and they're like, "Ooh, hands, how do these work?" Like, it's very awkward. Pam Grier disappears. Jason Statham goes to find her. All he finds is her top on a spike and sees about 200 plus crazy ass people down there listening to one Marilyn Manson looking guy standing on top of a ridge or a vehicle or something, and he's ooh, blah 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 blah, ooh, blah 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 blah, and they're hooah hooah. So it's obvious this guy's in charge of the Nutsos, or I'm sorry, the possessed. End up trying to lock themselves in a building to find 3 other guys, bring them into the building. They happen to be Desolation Williams' friends, and try to break him out of prison. They ended up getting locked in prison themselves, so they made a deal to help them against the possessed people. Quickly after that, they make a plan, and in the meantime, they had fought a couple of them, but it was very close quarters, so not much action happens yet. So they get ready to go, make some grenades out of these dynamite that they stick in food cans. Not sure how that becomes a grenade, but okay. I mean, you could just throw the dynamite and it would explode. I mean, I guess the can adds a little shrapnel, but whatever. So we get to our first big action scene. Everybody leaves the prison because they're headed to the train that's supposed to be there to pick them up, and they don't see the train. So next thing you know, these people start popping up on top of rooftops, growling and snarling and speaking gibberish at them. They end up getting into a big fight sequence, and a lot of shooting going on. They all have guns, but quickly after a minute or two of the shooting and the cool bang 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 chapow chapow chapow, which isn't bad. There's a few scenes that are just kind of eh, but for the most part the shooting scenes are good. But every time they get into a gunfight, it very quickly turns into hand-to-hand, or hand-to-gun, I should say. Because it's not like they're out of ammo or anything else. They just stop shooting and start hitting people with their guns, like, constantly for the last half of the fight. And doing karate moves, sorta. couple of people get taken out on the way. The possessed Martians. I just like saying that. They have saw blades, like just saw blades, and apparently they have tons of them because they just are tossing them like frisbees, and it's just taking people's tops off and just splitting them into pieces, and it's bouncing off of stuff, killing people, and like they're just very accurate with these saw blades. Kind of reminded me of Idle Hands. Whenever he, yeah. Anyways, watch that one. That one's a good one too. We might actually do a video on that one this month. But yeah, very much just a bunch of. And the reason I said Uwe Boll would have made a great director is because of the graveyard scene in House of the Dead. That's very much what this felt like. Like at this point, it kind of felt like a video game movie. Much like Doom, but outside. And not as good. So, like I said, it just always ended up in hand to hand. It got weird, which was very much a thing from House of the Dead. But the way it was directed in that one was way more comical and would have went great with this movie. On one hand, I'm glad they didn't do it, but on the other hand, I kind of want to see what it would be like. So, anyways. So, after that, they end up making their way back to the jail. One of the guys in the prison cells is infected or possessed. And at this point, the doctor has confessed that she was the one who opened the mine door, because they found a door in a mine that let out this evil. And so they're like some sort of parasites that carried on the wind and will enter in through your ear, I guess, and possess you. And like I said, every time somebody gets possessed, it's like they're just super confused and don't know what hands are. It's like the telltale sign that they use in this movie for the possession. But if something has possessed somebody, they kill it, it comes out of them and goes into somebody else. So wouldn't it already know? Or is it reborn again? Or like there's just a lot left unexplained. The Duvall girl from the faculty ends up just taking out the guy in the prison cell while he's still in the cell, like for absolutely no reason, and it's like, oh no, it's free. And it gets into Natasha Henstridge. So after it gets into Natasha, Ice Cube and Jason Statham take her outside, and Statham's like, oh, I found her stash. And it's her stash of pills, so he ends up giving her pills, and he's like, that'll mess with whatever's inside of her at least. And they go back inside. And they basically just set her in front of the door, like, all yours. So, yeah, she goes through this phase. And half of it is memories of the Martians. That they were these big kind of creatures. I'll put some clips in, I guess. It's hard to see them because it's like a transparent flashback over her sweaty face for some reason. It was just the way it was done. It was like they had to make sure you knew that it was a memory or a flashback or whatever you want to call it. So it was, anyways, so, but they're these big beasts and they got like armor. Okay, so why are they like wouldn't you just make armor? But, I mean, I guess they're just temporary bodies anyways, so what does it matter? I don't know. It's just a whole weird situation that they had. And I think it had a lot of a lot to do with the time period of this movie, because there was a lot of need to be edgy entertainment at this time. And of course, you know, all the cops have leather jackets. The bosses have like leather trench coats. It's very, very much the 2000s. Anyways, getting off track. So she has the flashback. The pill works, and she spits the red smoke out. Yeah, the train's supposedly coming back. So they go to fight their way to the train. They do get there. Pretty much get away. By this time, it's Statham, Ice Cube, Natasha, the Duvall girl, and the 2 train guys left. And that's pretty much it. Everybody else is eating red dirt at this point. Or still sitting somewhere looking at their hands. Better do it. So, yeah, they pretty much get away, and Natasha Henstridge is like, we gotta go back. This can't happen. Everybody's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, at the next station, or before you get to the next station, slow down and bring it to a full stop. And she's like, what would happen if I wanted to explode the nuclear plant there? And the doctor's still alive at this point, sorry. And the doctor's like, we could have one big A-bomb. No kidding! That's, anyways. So she's like, we're gonna stop them. We're gonna go back and we're gonna blow up the train guys. Are gonna distract them and cover us. Few things I've seen wrong with that plan. One, nothing kills these things. They've been blown up. They've been, like, nothing kills them. That's kind of the point of them. And they travel on the wind. So if you detonate a nuclear bomb, all these things are just going to spread out even further, I would assume. But, okay, this is the plan. So, of course, her, Cube, the doctor, they go to do the nuclear bomb place, get it set up, start heading back to the train. The people on the train are starting to get taken out by the possessed. They get on the train, they get away. A few people are on the train. Ice Cube climbs on top, opens a hatch that just has a box of dynamite sitting in it that's at the top of the train. Throws one of his little bomb things in with the dynamite, and he's going to let the train car loose. Has to fight the big guy, the main one. Knocks him onto the other train, lets it loose, and yeah, it blows up. So they're like, hey, we're good, keep on going. And so Ice Cube handcuffs her to her bed while she's laying there in a slick way. And she's like, what are you doing? He's like, I can't let you turn me in. And she's like, well, I can't let you go. And pulls a gun, and he's like, then just shoot me. Okay. So he walks off, gets off of a speeding train somehow. They kind of leave it open for a sequel, because after it cuts back to her being questioned, which where we started at the beginning. She got done with her story. They put her in a holding cell. She starts hearing sirens go off and people screaming, and so she's getting dressed for cop duty, and then old Ice Cube pops in. He's got these chrome-plated guns, and he tosses her one. And I'm not talking about like you know, this part's chrome and there's a little hand grip or something. No, they're just fully covered in chrome. It's like they were just dipped in chrome paint. Like they're fully chrome. It's like the Call of Duty gold guns, but with no camo on it. Would have been better if they were diamond, but he hasn't reached that level yet. He's got to prestige a little bit more, complete a few challenges, that kind of stuff. But anyways, he tosses her one of these chrome-plated guns, and he was like, "You ready to fight?" And they're like, she's like, "Yeah," and then end of movie. So that is my personal favorite, one of my personal favorites of John Carpenter's. Yeah, I really like this movie. This one is definitely worth a watch if you have not seen it. My description does not do it full justice, so you should definitely go check it out. I have enjoyed my drink. I hope you enjoyed yours. Yeah, I can finish it. Anyways, you guys have a great night. Thanks for watching. Have a drink of paint. Catch you next time.